Howdy. Mama's doing yoga now. Namaste and good evening wherever you are. It's evening here in Nova Scotia, Canada, and my name is Cheryl, and I'm going to take you through a 20-minute practice made for beginners who are looking to increase flexibility in the back side of their body. So if you have a goal of wanting to get closer to touching your toes, this class is for you. So this takes a trauma-informed approach, just honoring each person's journey in life, and that you may find some things maybe a bit challenging, or you find yourself getting emotionally dysregulated or upset. We want to make space for that here. So please do take this class lightly and pick and choose what works for you and your body, always knowing you can stop at any time. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to start coming into a seated position. So I'm going to have my left foot out in front of my right foot. And we begin by starting to roll the shoulders down and start to sense your weight in both seating bones. And we'll just begin in taking a few slow, deep breaths as we transition into our practice. And you're welcome to stay just like this. We are starting to stretch the outer left hip here. Invitation to take a gentle forward fold. So with length in the spine, take a breath in. And as we exhale, we gently start to hinge forward. So you might have blocks at home. You could even grab cushions from your couch like I am, just to bring in a little support under the arms. You can start to soften the neck. And we want to focus on conscious breathing. So this is a way we can start the relaxation process and deepening and lengthening the breath. And also helps with training awareness to come back into the present moment rather than being disconnected and living in a distant future or getting stuck somewhere in the past. Let's take 3 breaths here. Beautiful. So we'll start to release. You can press your way up. And then we're going to extend the left leg out and draw the right foot in. We're going to access the back side of our left leg and a little side body stretch as well. We'll be taking another forward fold. And already, if you feel a stretch taking this position, this is where you stay in practice. So you're not trying to get good at yoga, all right? So soften expectations and start to honor and meet your body where it is right now. Progress will come, but we don't want to force the body and push past a healthy limit where we can cause injury. So less is more when it comes to this kind of stretching practice. And you want the sensation to be bearable. So on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is painfully uncomfortable, we don't want to be anywhere close to that. We want to feel a stretch. The lengthening of the muscle and the fibers, so it might feel like a slight burn, maybe like a 3 or 4, at max maybe 5, so we can stay and breathe. Being present with the last 3 breaths. And then nice and easy, we'll start to release the pose. And then we'll switch sides. So we're going to come back into cross-legged. This time we'll take the right shin, placing it out in front. Again, you're welcome to just practice sitting in this shape. And if you find that the knees are really high because the hips are super tight, no worries. Again, you might just grab some couch cushions and put them underneath the legs, so we're kind of building support up from the floor. We want to have it so that you can kind of soften rather than holding and shaking. So please do bring in some supports if need be. Otherwise, we're going to start our forward fold. So breathe in, get tall. Keep that length, and then we start a little journey, deepening the sensation in the outer right hip. Softening and breathing here for 5 rounds of breath. Full awareness on the last 2. And then the next breath will lift us up nice and easy. So we'll transition now to our head to knee pose, second side. Extend the right leg out, left foot draws in. And again, we're meeting the body exactly where it is. So if you're finding this is a lot to stretch the back side of the right leg, then we just stay and breathe here. You are to work to find what we call your edge of sensation. So you just kind of investigate gently, what is the body saying? And when you find that you're meeting your limit, in terms of sensation as it builds, that's where you want to hover. Almost as if you stay and kind of surf that sensation, trying to focus as you breathe. Let's take 5 here. Last breath. Slowly start to press your way up, out of the fold. We'll make our way into tabletop, coming into hands and knees. So foundation, we want to align the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Maybe take a little bump of the hips side to side. And back to center, cat and cow. Drop the belly, inhale, lift the eyes. And then exhale, contract and round the spine, tuck the chin. Following your breath. Back to neutral. We'll find our downward facing dog. So press through the hands, we'll tuck the toes, and then we're going to lift the hips, pressing them up and back. So arms are super straight and strong in our down dog. Release the neck so the head is heavy. And then we're going to go ahead and bend the right knee. So we're drawing the left heel towards the floor. Release the head and breathe. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. Let's bend the left leg, right leg straightens as we draw the heel down to the ground. 2 deep breaths. position. And we'll find a little side bend. So left fingertips to the floor, breathing in, reach the right arm up. And then a little gentle tilting over to the left. So a nice stretch for the right rib cage. Trying to keep the right shoulder gently rolling back. And then we'll switch sides. And release, finding tabletop, hands and knees. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then walk the feet halfway here. We'll find a ragdoll fold. So my stance is nice and wide, just kind of to the outside of the mat here. And so you can start by just resting the elbows on tops of the knees. Release the head down. You can stay right like this, or you might release the arms, grabbing opposite elbows. And you can get a little bend in the knees. You might sway side to side. So we're decompressing the spine and we're stretching out the hamstrings. And we'll take 2 deep breaths. Let's plant the hands, come back, tabletop pose, and coming back to take a seat now. Taking the legs out in front. So we'll basically do that same posture, but seated now. So with the legs straight, we're gonna find a nice tall spine, and then we're gently just gonna hinge forward here. So you might not need to hinge very far at all to start to feel this stretch in the back side of the legs. Once you meet your limit, and again, we're looking for moderation, nothing too intense, then you can start to just relaxing a little bit. So my spine starts to round now. This is my dog Luna, who loves to play, who never wants to stop playing. And then we'll just slowly settle into this. So bringing your awareness back to your breath, and we'll stay and take 5 here. See if you can count them all down, all 5 breaths. Deep breath in, and breathe out, and nice and slow, coming up to release our big forward fold. We're going to recline down onto our backs, and we'll be taking a spinal twist, which is nice to do after forward folds. So you can ground through the right arm, bending it at 90 degrees or so. Take the hips a little to the right. And then we're going to let knees and thighs gently fall over to the left. So we're twisting from the belly button down so that the chest is still facing the sky here. And sending breaths all the way down to the low belly. No. Breath. Let's bring those knees up, center the hips, and then we'll set up second side. So left arm, grounding, then hips go over to the left, knees fall to the right. You might even assist by taking the right hand to the top of the legs. 5 deep breaths. Twists are also really helpful to aid our digestion and to nourish and support the low back. A wonderful way to end any yoga practice. Let's bring those knees up. And then we're going to take Shavasana. But just before we do that, you can bring the knees in towards the chest. I'm just going to turn around. Bringing the knees towards the chest. Maybe rock a little side to side. And then we'll let the body recline. Making this comfortable, so if you have a pillow, maybe placing it under the head, or a blanket nearby, you can place it over the body. Just let the legs relax now, the arms can come down wherever you feel most comfortable. And taking a few moments to integrate and rest. Really the most important part of any yoga practice. Dogs at home. So relaxing. Stop. Go. Seriously. Stop. Go. I sure hope that was funny for you at home. I'll start to deepen the breath. And little movements now, reawakening the body, toes and fingers. Wrists and ankles. Walk the feet back onto your mat. Maybe find a little stretch in the arms. And then when you're ready, you're going to make your way coming up to take a seat. So finishing our practice just the way we started, bringing hands to your hearts. And we'll chant Om together one time. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Deeper inhale. And Om. Thank you all for joining me for this beginner's flexibility practice. I hope you got a good giggle out of my home practice with my very energetic dog who is relentless and just wants to play. And we'll see you again next time. Namaste. You crazy girl. I said, please, I'm doing this recording.